long. It felt like December 2024 part 2. And I just feel like I was fighting for my life every day. I didn't like that. Even though I was fighting for my life, I did read 11 books. And can I also just say that I hate odd numbers? And in the future, I probably won't be reading a lot of odd number books. I'm very much an even number girly. It scratches the itch in the back of my head. So I'm going to kind of just talk about each of the books and the ratings that I gave them. Incorrect Eyes by Andromeda Ruins. I gave it 1.5 stars. This book is about, it's kind of like, angels and how angels actually look. And that this person is being followed by eyes or whatever. And I think it was only 50 pages. I just didn't understand the concept. And the whole time I kind of felt like I was reading but not intaking any of the information. So I rated it pretty low. This Is How You Lose the Time War. I gave this book 3.75 stars. And I listened to the audiobook. I was thinking, I could see how people love this book. It's really beautiful text. The descriptions are really interesting. And the yearning is really great. And the yearning is in this one. And the yearning was really great. I think other than that, I wasn't really enthralled by the story. I had a lot of questions of the world and things like that, and the world that was built that didn't get answered. And it just left me wanting more. Smilin Sam's Corn Maze by Stephenie Perry, Scissom. This one I gave 5 stars. It's 88 pages, so real short. This kind of reminded me of an episode of Criminal Minds. A daughter who was kidnapped and she's killed but never found. And a mother 40 years later trying to find and lay her daughter to rest. And it's like a quick little whodunit, And once you get to a certain point, you know who did it, but it just really captures your attention and you're not mad about it. I wasn't mad about it. Lovely, Dark, and Deep by Megan Stockton. This book is 100 and something pages. It reminded me of the movie 30 Days of Night. But instead of vampires, they had sirens or mermaids. It's a really captivating story. And I wanted to know more about these things, the sirens, and where they came from, and just more history on it. I think this would be a really great novel. And honestly, probably a really great series. I gave it 4.75 stars. Tangleroot by Kalela Williams. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I listened to the audiobook. It's a coming-of-age YA novel. It's an interesting story, but it kind of got a little muddled in the middle and towards the end. It's a mother and daughter dynamic, and it's kind of annoying at times. And also, the random love interest the main character has, it really didn't need to be included. It could have just stayed out. It was kind of random, and it felt like it wasn't flushed out on why they somehow became interested in one another. And also, I think this book has trigger warnings. I'm not really sure, but the trigger warnings are definitely important because it's crazy how terrible people can be just based on the color of someone's freaking skin. It really triggered me at sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was feeling a little triggered, but 3.75 if you if you like YA, definitely check it out. New Moon by Stephenie Meyer. This is the second book in the Twilight Saga. If you read the first one, you gotta read the second one. The Between by Tananarive Due. This is 280, almost 300 pages. It's really short. The book had me biting my nails. I was stressed the heck out. There were some times where it was a bit confusing, but it was easy to get back to understanding. Hilton, who's the main character, he really had me on an emotional roller coaster with his choices. There was moments I was rooting for him, and then moments that he just pissed me off. And I just think the subject was really complex, and I wanted more information on the Between. And I would be interested in another book. I mean, the concept of just there being another universe where there's so many of you, and the goal at the end of it is for this end goal to happen, but you keep somehow getting past it, and the universe has to balance. So I liked it a lot. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the series. I had a great time. I had a ball. I know a lot of people didn't like. There were some people that were saying they didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm becoming someone who is enjoying fantasy. I usually hate a lot of world building. I think too much detail really just like loses me. But the world building on this one was really good. The explanation of the different continents, and then just like the detail on each group in the continents and how they live, how their religion works. And I had a great time. I gave it 5 stars. Here by Richard McGuire. This is a graphic novel. I gave it 2.75 stars. Only because, I mean, the artwork was interesting. There wasn't really a story. It was just like art. And then, yeah, this one is just like the story of like one place in the house. So if we were just to look at this one space in the house throughout time, so from whatever BC up until now, and it would start from dirt and up into me being right here recording a video. So you'd have like the 1900s where it'd be people like, you know, not using a phone and all of a sudden using a phone, and maybe this wall wouldn't even be here. Maybe this house wouldn't even be here, you know? And so it was really interesting. But other than that, you know, PTSD Radio 3. This is the volume that has 5 and 6 in it. This is written by Masaaki Nakayama. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with a nice little manga. It's a horror manga, so the art is like a bit terrifying at times. And yeah, horror movie by Paul Tremblay. I gave this book 1 star. And actually on Storygraph, I think I gave it lower than that because it was possible to. I kind of wish that I DNF'd it. But I wanted to read it, and I did it. This is... I just feel like the story for me, it didn't make sense. These kids, someone is filming a movie. They ask this guy to film a movie. They basically just bully the heck out of him. They bully the heck out of him, and they're torturing him. And all for the sake of this being a movie, and all of it being an accident. And I listened to the audiobook. I didn't like the audio. There were multiple voices, but there was also moments where the person that was talking, like, at a certain point in the part where we're reading the script for the movie was stuttering, or, like, not stuttering, she was repeating herself. And I hate repetition. I hate repeating myself. So, God forbid, I have to watch, or I have to listen to someone repeat something over and over again. I just didn't really like it. I've read another book by Paul Tremblay. It was The Cabin at the End of the World, which they made into a movie called Knock at the Cabin, I think is what they ended up making it. And I really enjoyed that. I just think that because this one is going to be made into a movie, maybe it just kind of got a bit lost or something. And hopefully the movie will be better. But yeah. So those are all the books that I read in January. I think it was a pretty decent month. I think it's going to be hard to come back from Onyx Storm. So we'll see what happens.